Hello everyone.
Good evening.
Hi Devidutta, how are you?
Um, yeah, I can see like you guys have not attempted the mock. Um, was it the work schedule or anything? Shreyas, Amy.
Yeah, actually, I was busy in work actually, so because of which I was not able to attend the RC mock.
Okay. See, Shreyas, you will have to like work with your schedule. I mean,
Yes.
you'll have to give mocks. There is this very beautiful concept called Parkinson's law. Everyone should, irrespective of whether you are prepping for CAT or anything, you should look it up. It says that the uh, work takes up the time we assign it. So 21 minutes is harmless. You can give me a minute. Since only one of the students has attempted the mock, I think we will keep another like this as the discussion for the mock. We'll wait for 2-3 minutes. After that, we'll start. So Shreyas and Amy, have you registered for CAT?
Yes,
Not
yes, I
yet,
have
sir.
registered.
Okay. The fees of CAT is increasing year on year exponentially. Earlier, when I gave it was 2200. Currently, it's 2400.
Last year it was 2300.
Oh, so they are increasing 100 rupees every year. CAT is a costly process if you really see. Everything is very costly. CAT related. The everything. Okay, I think yeah, I think we can start 8-4. Let's wait one more minute. Shubham, how are you?
Hi Devidutta.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Actually, I'm traveling today.
Okay,
I'm going to start right now.
okay, there was noise. Hi Tejal. Tejal, can you hear us? Yeah, I think you are also traveling. Yeah, okay, yeah. Just wanted to let you know you are the only one who gave the mock. So, something to be happy about. We'll be discussing the mock itself. I'll go on a passage kind of thing. One of the, since no one has looked into it, I'll be sharing my screen and we'll start. Guys, can you access the OneNote? like I want you to access it as right now. You can see the screen, right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I gave you the mock. One passage was from CAT 2001, and the other one is from CAT 1990. Never think that even though they are like 33 years old, one is 21 years old, they still have not lost their relevance. That is why I gave it. I really wanted you guys to go through this, but okay, we'll go through this in the class. Um guys, I'll assign some time. Can everyone access the OneNote? Just hi, hello. Uh,
Yes.
yeah. So, guys, I'll give you, let's say 10 minutes. Just scroll through the passage and try to attempt the question, or 11 minutes if you want. After that, we will start the discussion.
Chauvinism.
Guys, should we start discussion? Guys, should we start discussion? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can start.
So we'll start. Okay. So the passage talks about the discovery of stars, and it also talks about how the period goes on. In modern scientific theory, the light was created not once but twice. Just a highlight. The first time it was in the Big Bang. So it is talking about two times. One was Big Bang, when the universe began its existence as a glowing, expanding fireball, which cooled off into darkness. After a few million years. The second time was 100 of millions years later, when the cold material condensed into dense nuggets under the influence of gravity and ignited to become the first stars. So it is talking about the creation of light, and it happened twice. Once was the Big Bang, after which it cooled down, condensed, the dark age it will talk about, and then talks about becoming first stars when we are discovering. Sir X YZ named the long interval between the two enlightenments cosmic dark age. The name describes not only the poorly lit conditions, but also the ignorance of astronomers about that period. So astronomers are were at least considering negligent of that period. Nobody knows exactly what when the first stars formed, or how they were organized into galaxies, or even when the stars were the first luminous objects. So we are not sure if stars were the first light objects. They may have been preceded by quasars. So before stars there might have been something called as quasars, which are mysterious bright spots found at the center of some galaxies. No two independent group of astronomers, one led by X of whatever university, Y, and other is Y. X and Y claim to have see this part, for example, in exam setting, you don't have to remember the details so much. You can just call this RB and the other guy GD. And even better if you don't remember this, because these consume your mental space. X and Y claim to have peered far enough into space with their telescopes, and therefore looking back enough in time. Okay, this wording is important. Peered far enough into space. This tells that it is maybe a difficult journey to look into the space. And in bracket it is saying, and therefore backward enough in time to observe the closing days of dark age. So these two guys have observed the closing days of dark age. The main problem that plagued, nice word, previous efforts to study the dark age was not the this is important. was not the lack of suitable telescopes. What it is saying that we had telescopes, but rather the lack of suitable things at which to point them. We didn't know what to point at, but we had telescopes. Because these events took place over 13 billion, numbers are not very important in an RC, never remember them. Unless very, very rare that you will be asked a numerical question or something like that. Events took place over 13 billion years ago. If astronomers are to have any hope of unraveling them, they must study objects that are at least 13 billion light years away. Yeah, this is also important, I think. All I am getting a hint is that it is a difficult journey to look so much back. That is what they are talking about. The best prospects are quasars, because they are so bright and compact that they can be seen across vast stretches of space. So we get some idea about what these quasars are. Bright and compact, that they can be seen across vast stretches of space. The energy source that powers quasar is unknown energy source. Of course, while you are attempting CAT, you cannot underline and everything, but just saying what is important and what to look for, and you can also always have side notes. For example, let's say you have the rough paper, you can, in the rough sheet, you can write some info, X, Y, and Z. And then move on. And while after reading the RC, you can compile them and see if you are getting any idea. Okay, coming back to this. However, although it is suspected to be the intense gravity of giant black hole, the energy source and the gravity of black hole. However, at the distances required for the study of dark age, even quasars are extremely rare and faint. Let's talk about quasars. At that distance required for the study of dark age, even quasars are extremely rare and faint. So what this means is quasars are there, but this is very distant, 13 billion light years. So even quasars are falling rare and faint. These are extremely bright, but due to distance they are looking rare. They are rare and faint. Recently, some members of X's team announced that their discovery of four most distant quasars known. So one guy's team has found some four most distant. All the new quasars are terribly faint. All the new, here when he is talking about new, he is talking about these four. All the new quasars are terribly faint, a challenge that both teams overcame by peering them through one of the twin Keck telescopes in Hawaii. These are world's largest and therefore collect the most light. So these telescopes are world's largest. The new work done by X's team analyzed the light from all four quasars. Okay, nice. 3 of them appear to be similar to ordinary less distance quasar. 3 of them appear to be, what is this? What I think it means is 3 of them looked similar to whatever they were looking at, less distance quasar. However, the 4th and most distant, unlike any other quasar I've ever seen, showed unmistakable signs of being shrouded. Shrouded means covered, of being shrouded in a fog. Even if you don't know the meaning of the word shrouded, try to hide the word shrouded and try to fill in the blanks. Unmistakable signs of being dash in a fog. What can you, hidden in a fog, you can say. Because newborn stars and quasars emit mainly UV light, and hydrogen gas is opaque to ultraviolet. Okay. So I think you guys have to, let's say you'll have to think by drawing something. Let's say this is a quasar, and there is hydrogen gas, and it emits UV light, but this hydrogen gas is opaque to UV light, so you cannot see anything here. And our telescope is here, so obviously we cannot see anything. Seeing the fog had been the goal of would-be dark age astronomers since 1965, where X and Y spelled out the technique for using quasars as backlighting beacons to observe the fog's UV show. Okay. We'll maybe look at this. As of now, I'm not interested. The fog prolonged the period of darkness until heat. The fog prolonged the period of darkness until the heat from the first stars and quasars had the chance to ionize the hydrogen. So, what it is saying is that there is some heat from this, and it again ionizes this. Until then, it is covered. Breaking it into constituent parts, protons and electrons, ionized hydrogen is transparent to UV light. So at the moment the fog lifted and the universe became well-known place it is today. So it is saying that after it produces heat, it can be seen by the people, and universe is the well-lit place it is, we know. For reason, the end of dark age is called the epoch of reionization, epochal period, let's say. Change of because UV shadow is visible only in the most distant of 4 quasars. Dr. X's team concluded that the fog had dissipated completely by the time the universe was about 900 million years old and 1/7 of its current size. But this is nothing they are wanting to confuse you by saying, but it is saying that they are looking back into 13 billion years of light, and they are saying by 900 million years all the fog was gone. That's all. Okay, I think we can start the passage. 51 guys, what did you answer? Astronomers find it difficult to study the dark age because. Okay, yeah. Guys, anyone?
D.
Okay.
D.
Oh,
B.
okay, D.
No, B. I have marked B.
Okay. What I think someone marked B. Okay. Astronomers find it difficult to study the dark age because suitable telescopes are few. This is obviously a misnomer. Can't be. It is not written anywhere in the passage. Rather, it is written that we had. It is not because of the telescopes. Let's come to 3. The energy source that powers a quasar is unknown. No, that is not why astronomers find it difficult to study the dark age. Okay. Yeah. Now let's come to 4th. Their best chance is to study quasars which are faint objects to begin with. Whoever marked D, faint objects. So my question is, are quasars faint objects? Can I say this? Are quasars faint objects? It is mentioned in the passage that the light that comes, I have marked that as well. Yeah. The best prospects are quasars because they are so bright and compact that they can be seen across vast stretches of space. The energy source that powers is unknown, although it is suspected to be of intense gravity XYZ. However, at distances required for study of dark age, it is a long distance. Even quasars are extremely rare and faint. So it is talking about the light and how we can see it's rare and faint. It's not saying that quasars are faint, which are faint objects to begin with. Their best chance is to study which are faint objects. No, quasars are not faint objects. That is what the question is actually implying. So this can also be negated. The associated events took place aeons ago is something which is a neutral statement, which is with which we'll have to go, and that is also the right one. At the bottom there is a key. You guys can find it later on after we have our classes ended. Okay. Uh, Coming to 52, the fog of hydrogen gas seen through telescopes. Lifted after. So, guys, what have you marked? Interesting science article. Non-science students must be saying what is all this ionization, etc.
B.
Okay.
No, B. B.
Okay. B and D sound the same, especially over a Google Meet at least. Okay, I think we've got some answers here. Shreyas is trying to say B. Okay. Yeah. So, guys, any confusion with this one? 52. The fog of hydrogen has gas seen through telescopes. Let's go from the bottom. Is broken into constituent elements when stars and quasars are formed. Seen through telescopes. Interesting. We'll come to this. This is an interesting one. Is broken into constituent elements when stars and quasars are formed. I'm not sure about that, because when they are formed, do they release the heat when they are formed? That I don't know. When they release their heat, but according to the passage, it's when they release their heat. We had it somewhere here. No, it is mentioned newborn stars and quasars emit mainly UV light, and hydrogen gas is opaque to UV. The fog prolonged the period of darkness until the heat from the first stars and the quasars had the chance. So heat comes much later, I think, because it is mentioned, and otherwise I cannot infer from the passage. Newborn stars and quasars have a UV light, not the heat. So obviously this will go. Third, is material which eventually became stars and quasars? No, can't infer. Let's come to one. Is transparent to hydrogen radiation. Hydrogen radiation we have not talked about. We talk about UV radiation. You can just outright reject it. 2 is the answer. Coming to 53. In the passage the dark age refers to. Guys, what did you answer?
Oh, B.
Okay, I have some. Okay, B. Yeah. So, guys, why didn't you, anyone just, this is an open discussion, why didn't you mark option number 1?
Because there is no time period. Simple statement line after book, but there is no period.
Okay.
Between the book.
Okay. So, like, if I'm not wrong, that was Shreyas speaking. So, you were saying that because it is a time period, so it cannot be 1, right?
Yeah.
No. I think that was Shubham actually.
Okay.
My reason was that it's telling that the period when the universe became cold after the Big Bang. So dark age is not cold actually. It's just a difference in the time period. between the heat and the cold. That area in which astronomers were not able to they were not able to oversee. Like they just thought that they didn't overlook that. So it's not after like it's not the cold that is after Big Bang. So that's why.
Okay. Yeah.
And also in the second paragraph, in the second line, they have mentioned about the ignorance of the astronomers about that period.
Right. Actually, yeah, I like the reasoning. This is something which I was expecting, because one can be like, I don't know, you guys didn't mark, but one can be a little confusing for people who don't like just scroll. The Yeah, there are two reasons, of course. The cold, it is not mentioning about cold, etc. Plus, obviously, they are talking about how astronomers' ignorance led to that period being called dark. And we also, let's look at option number 3, the medieval period where cultural activity. Just reject it. Whenever you see something very stupid like this, just the time that universe took to heat up after the Big Bang. Just a sec. Yeah. No. So yeah, it's clearly two. Only one. Uh, Coming to 54, the most distant quasars discovered recently. What did you guys mark?
A.
Sorry? Yeah?
A.
Yeah. Shreyas, what's your answer? Shreyas, Shubham?
A only. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
A.
Any other answers?
Yeah, I think it's it.
Yeah. So you guys are doing pretty good. Let me tell you that. I don't know how you will perform in D-Day, but here at least, maybe I'm giving a little extra time. So here at least you guys are performing decently, like getting all correct, etc. Which is a good start. So be confident about CAT. That's one takeaway from, because these are past CAT and CAT level CAT RCs only. So if you are able to do this, so no need to be underconfident. Yeah, yeah. Uh, let's look at other options. It appears similar to the ordinary quasars. Actually, he talks about 3 of them looking similar. So this will not be there. Appear to be shrouded in the fog of no. Have been sought to be discovered. No. So yeah, guys, we'll go to the next passage. Next passage is a little dense. I'll give you guys around 10 minutes. Guys, am I giving a little extra time, or should I give 8 minutes? 420 words.
I think 8 is fine.
Okay, yeah, I also think that. Yeah, okay, guys, we'll go to passage 2, 8 minutes. 8:40, 8:47 we'll start the discussion. Yeah. हेलो मैं देखिए दिल्ली में थे हेलो ସବୁ ମେଡ଼ିସିନ୍ ଟିକେ ଦେଇଦେବୁ ଖାଇବା ପିଇବାରେ ମେଡ଼ିସିନ୍ କାଟିଲେ ତାର ଘଣ୍ଟେ ଖଣ୍ଡେ ଗଲେ କନଷ୍ଟିପେସନ୍ ଦି ଚାମଚ 3 ଚାମଚ ଦି କରିବନି କ'ଣ ବୁଝିଲେ କି କିଛି ନାହିଁ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଚାଲିଛି ତ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ନେଉଥିଲି Okay, guys, we can start discussion. Did you guys go through it? Guys, can we start? Shubham, Shreyas, Tejal, Amy, anyways.
Yes.
Yeah, so how did you find this, guys? I want everyone's input, whoever has gone through it.
Compared to the first one, it's little difficult to understand,
Okay.
more complex.
Yeah, it is.
It's too vocabulary based.
Yeah. Amy, what's your review?
Yeah, it takes, for me, I need a little bit more time to understand this.
Okay. So by this time, like 7-8 minutes, how much percentage were you guys able to cover? Okay,
I think 90.
90 is good. Uh, this, for me at least, this passage vocabulary wise was a little higher, but the main problem is the way it is structured. It's a little complicated, according to me. Again, that's today just before the class I was trying to attempt this a little. Okay, so we'll start discussion. Yeah. Uh, the motive force that has carried the psychoanalytic movement to voluminous wave of popular attention and created for it considerable following. Those discontent with traditional methods and attitudes is the frank direction of psychological instruments of exploration to the insistent and intimate problems of human relations. So it is talking about a movement, this movement, which has currently come into action, or whatever the motive force has brought it to recent attention, and for it a considerable following was created, among whom those discontent with traditional methods and attitudes. So it is talking now continuation. The motive force is the frank direction of the psychological instruments of exploration to the insistent and intimate problems of insistent. Nice. Insistent. Insists, something that insists a lot of time having and intimate problems of human relations. So it is talking about some movement which was brought to the recent attention and created considerable following among those who were discontent, and I think this much. This is a difficult one because see, the first line itself is 4 lines, first sentence. However false or however true its conclusions, it's as in the movement or whatever we are talking about. We still don't know what is this. Some P movement, let's say. Okay. However false or however true its conclusions, however weak or however strong its arguments, however effective or defective or even pernicious its practice. It's so it is talking about that movement or whatever the new thing which has come into town. Its mission is broadly humanistic. Okay, so from what I can gather is it is human centric, anthropogenic. Just a sec. Uh, Psychological enlightenment is presented as a program of salvation. So it is talking about psychological enlightenment. Finally, we get to know what this thing is. This thing is psychological enlightenment. By no other appeal could the service of psychology have been more become so glorified. So this is a way of glorifying psychology. It is again what I am interpreting. The therapeutic promise of psychoanalysis came as most. See, from here we can understand what this first para is all about. The therapeutic promise of psychoanalysis came as the most noble, most ambitious, most releasing of the long procession of curative system that marked the history of mental healing. So, from here we can gather that the passage is talking, just a sec, is talking about the promise of a new product, that is psychoanalysis. Most ambitious, most releasing of long procession of curative systems. Long procession of curative systems. It means there have been a long list of cures for whatever it is trying to address now in the history of mental healing. So we can infer roughly that it is talking about psychoanalysis, which is glorifying psychology, and it is coming as a solution to mental healing from this paragraph, something like that. To the contemporary trends in psychology, psychoanalysis. So, see, psychology was there, contemporary trends. Psychoanalysis is the new kid in the block. Psychoanalysis actually offered a rebuke, a challenge, a supplement, though it appeared to ignore them. So it appeared to ignore them, but actually it offered some challenge and a supplement, a rebuke. So it appeared to ignore them with the practical purpose of applied psychology directed to human efficiency. It had no direct relations and thus no quarrels. So applied psychology is directed towards human efficiency. So it has no, just a sec. Applied psychology is directed towards efficiency, human efficiency, let's say, and is not in conflict with good old psychology, old school of psychology, applied psychology, whatever they are trying to say the same thing, psychoanalysis. The solution also, the solution of behaviorism, likewise bidding for popular approval by reducing adjustment to a program of conditioning. So behaviorism is a field of study which was hoping to get popular by reducing adjustment to a program of conditioning. It inevitably found alien and irrelevant, as the behaviorist in reciprocity found psychoanalytic doctrine mystical, fantastic, assumptive, remote. So it is talking about it is talking about the human whom they are calling behaviorist, or the disciple of behaviorism. Behaviorist found psychoanalytic doctrine mystical, fantastic, assumptive, remote. So it is talking about, just a sec. the behaviorist found this new school of thought mystical, fantastic, assumptive, remote. Even to cognate formulations of mental hygiene as likewise. This is a toughly framed article, very tough. As likewise in its contacts and with related fields of psychology, psychoanalysis, and made no conciliatory advances. Guys, see, if you get around articles like this and you have started attempting it, then let's say, for example, right now I found this very difficult, this line. So what can you do if you find like this? Just ignore it and move forward and come back to it later to see if it's forming any meaning. Just a sec. Towards psychiatry, its nearest of kin, so it is talking about psychoanalysis, and its nearest kin is psychiatry. It took an unfriendly position, quite too plainly implying a disdain for an unprogressive relative. It is saying that psychoanalysis has been unprogressive since many times, let's say, unprogressive. Again, you have to think, what is psychiatry? So psychiatry also tries to treat mental disorders, so it is hovering around mental wellness, mental health, and how we treat them, and psychiatry has been unprogressive relatively. Okay. These estrangements affected its relations throughout the domain of mind and its ills. Beautiful way of putting what the article is about. Mind and its ills. But they came to head in the practice. Yeah, like the author is trying to talk about all the treatments which came to head in while practicing. From the outset, in the days of struggle, when it had but a sparse and scattered discipleship, we are talking about psychoanalysis here. So psychoanalysis had to struggle a lot before getting a formal entry into the mental health space to the present position of prominence. So what we can see is it is prominent currently. Freudianism went its own way, for the most part neglected by academic psychology. So Freudianism we are talking about, most likely Freudianism is brought here because it is also a type of psychoanalysis which was neglected by academic psychology, the formal of dreams, lapses, and neurosis. Orthodox psychology had little say. Again, I am having trouble in like putting this sentence with the other. The second reason for the impression made by guys, when you are attempting a tough RC, there is always hope that the questions asked will be simpler ones. If you have attempted CAT 2019 slot 1, the VARC section was a bloodbath. I don't know how many of you have attempted. So, but in some of those RCs, options were simpler. But don't worry, if it's tough for you, it will be tough for others as well. For example, this one. This is a little complicated. The second reason for impression made by psychoanalysis when it once launched against the tide of academic resistance. So academics were resisting this psychoanalysis to come, was its recognition of depth psychology, so much closer to human motivation, so much more intimate and direct than the analysis of mental factors. Depth psychology, closer to human motivation and all. Let's come to the last para. Most persons in trouble would be grateful for relief without critical examination of theory behind the practice that helped them. So it is talking about the mentally ill people. They'll be thankful only if they get treated. They don't care about what school of academics it is coming from. It can be psychoanalysis, it can be behaviorism, it can be XYZ. Anyone at all acquainted with the ebbs and flows of cures? Cure cures. That fail. Cures that fail. So like this is one word. Cures that fail. Need not be told that the scientific basis of the system is often the least important factor. It is talking about how like people need not be said that scientific basis of choosing something is a least important factor. It's rather should be the outcome that should matter. Many of these systems arise empirically within a practice which by trail seems to give results. This is not the case in psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysts belong to the typical group of therapies in which practice is entirely a derivative of therapy. So yeah, here is therapy. Sorry, theory, I think. Yeah, theory. In psychoanalysis, theory equal to practice. That is what they say. Here the pertinent psychological principle reads, create a belief in theory and the fact will create themselves. Okay, nice. Nice. This is a tough one. But yeah, let's come to the questions. Guys, the distinctive feature of psychoanalysis is that. Any answers?
C.
Sorry. Yeah. Guys, anyone else? Tejal has actually attempted the mock, so she can answer. Others, can you please? Amy, Shreyas?
Devidutta, I think they are typing in the chat box.
Sorry?
The other participants, they are typing it in the chat box.
Oh, okay. Oh. Guys, you should speak up. I mean, when I'm doing this OneNote thing, I don't come to the Google Meet and see the chats. Okay, Shreyas also typed C. Yeah, nice. Amy, what's your answer?
C. I give C.
Everyone is C. Nice. Okay. Yeah, let's begin. It provided the layman with scientific basis to the theories of psychology. No, actually it didn't. That is what the last para talks about. It blasted the popular theory that the conscious mind could be aptly linked to the tip of an iceberg. I don't know. Seems very vague. It provided effective means for the cure of mental disorders. Yes, this is like mentioned. What did we see? Mental healing, mind and its ills. Yeah, this is mentioned. Likely 4. It rendered existing trends in psychology defunct. I don't know why any one of you didn't mark this one because it is easy to get confused with this one. It actually didn't render them defunct. It actually challenged them. Rebuke was there, but it never rendered. So this is also incorrect. Let's move to the next question. The distinction between behaviorism and psychoanalysis that is highlighted here is which of the following? Just a sec. Why do we have only two options here? Sorry guys, I think there has been some mismatch. We have only two options here. Just a sec, let me bring.
I think options are after question number 129, third and fourth.
Right. I don't know. I just created this, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, sorry, but you'll have to refer to 1, 2 here and 3 and 4 here. 1, 2, 3 and 4 here. For 127. The distinction between behaviorism and psychoanalysis that is heightened here is which of the following? Guys, what's your answer? We'll go with that. How to?
C.
Okay. Who was that? Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys, we'll start looking at the answer. First one. Behaviorism is wide in scope, psychoanalysis is more restricted. This is not at all mentioned in the passage. We can go back and just have a look. The solution of behaviorism, likewise bidding for popular approval by reducing adjustment to a program of conditioning, is inevitably found alien and irrelevant. Alien and irrelevant does not mean that it is wide in scope or psychoanalysis is restricted, as the behaviorist in Reciprocity found psychoanalytic doctrine mystical, fantastic, assumptive, remote. These are the factors which a behaviorist will find in psychoanalysis. It is not anywhere mentioned that it is wide. So like one is enough. Will psychoanalysis is more restricted. Nowhere is mentioned in the passage. Coming to 2, behaviorism are more tolerant in their outlook. Psychoanalysts more dogmatic. No, again, behaviorism are more tolerant in their outlook. Can we infer this from this data? No. More tolerant, how can we say? From found alien and irrelevant, rather they are less tolerant. I'm just trying to find something which will be an outright answer. So this also is not an outright answer. Coming to question number option number 3, behaviorism traces all action to conditioning by habit. Psychoanalysis to the depths of human mind. Again, I'll go only with the first part. Let's see. The solution of behaviorism, likewise bidding for popular approval by reducing adjustment to a program of conditioning. See, it is talking about conditioning. Yeah. It is reducing everything to an adjustment in conditioning. Behaviorism traces all actions to conditioning by habit. So this is a green flag for me. Let's go to fourth one. Behaviorism are more circumspect and deliberate in the propagation of theory. Deliberate in propagation, we cannot. This cannot be inferred at all. And also, you see extreme options. Psychoanalysis jump to conclusion impetuously. They don't. And also, this is a little extreme. So we'll go with 3. 3 is the correct answer. Coming to 128. Yeah. The statement which is refuted by the passage is this. Guys, what is your answer?
I did not actually answer this because I couldn't eliminate between two options.
Okay. This question, it is a little tricky. The statement which is refuted by the passage is, the passage challenges or refuted as in like debunks is what? Let's see, option to option. 1. The popularity
That means it's not supporting the passage.
Yeah, refuted means challenge.
Yeah.
Let's check the meaning of refute as we are discussing. Just a second. Overthrow by argument, evidence, or proof. It's a verb. Prove to be false or incorrect. Seem challenging.
Yes.
Okay. The statement is refuted by the passage is this. Where? Yeah. So first, let's say the popularity enjoyed by psychoanalysis is partly due to the disenchantment with traditional methods of psychology. Is this true, guys? Whoever has read the article.
Yeah, it's in the first line itself.
Yeah. It talks about people, it is popular among people who were discontent with traditional methods and attitudes. There is also one more line. Psychoanalysis came as most novel. Novel means new. Most ambitious. Most releasing of long procession of fury, whatever. Again, there is one more line. I'm just looking for that. I think those two arguments. Yeah. The popularity enjoyed by the psychoanalysis is partly due to disenchantment with traditional methods of psychology. So this is a statement which the passage supports. So this can't be our answer. Coming to second one, psychoanalysis wooed people dissatisfied with other branches of psychology to swell their ranks. Guys, is it true? So we look at two categories of people who were not, who were from other branches of psychology, where they would. Would means where they impressed. Let's say we saw the example of behaviorist. He found it mystical, fantastic, assumptive, and remote. And then we look at other branches of just a sec. it talks about no quarrel with psychology. Psychology is a different branch of this, other branches of psychology. Okay, it talks about other branches. Okay. I got the question wrong. Actually, it talks about psychoanalysis. Would people dissatisfied with other branches of psychology? We don't have to look at much here. It did not woo actually. It actually, like, to contemporary trends in psychology, psychoanalysis actually offered a rebuke. Rebuke is a challenge, kind of a supplement, though it appeared to ignore them, with the practical purpose of applied psychology directed to human. This is talking about the quality and thus no quarrel. Here, just a sec. From here to here, I can infer that there is no wooing or like woo someone means to charm someone. So I don't think psychoanalysis is charming anyone. Solution. As likewise in its contacts with related fields of psychology, psychoanalysis made no conciliatory advances. Conciliatory means amicable or friendly advances. Conciliatory, if I'm not wrong, this means that only friendly or amicable advance. I'll just look at the meaning. This is a tough article. Yeah, willing to make concessions. Guys, I think 128. 128 will. I'll look it again. I'm not very sure about answering this, but I'll look at other options. Psychoanalysis, would people dissatisfied with other branches of psychology to swell their ranks? This I don't know. But from my guess, it did not woo. When it came with a lot of resistance. So according to me, this should be the answer. Third, psychoanalysis were pioneers in the realm of analysis of the subconscious mind. Again, okay, we'll look at third. Fourth one, psychoanalysis alienated allied branches of psychology. We have seen that's true in the first para itself. So this can't be the answer. Were the pioneers. Pioneers means someone who does it the first. For example, Apple was the pioneer in a mobile music device, iPod. Psychoanalysts were pioneers in the realm of analysis of subconscious mind. Let's see. It is talking about mental healing, but subconscious mind. Subconscious mind. Yeah. So guys, I think we have a problem here. Third also I am unable to find. Uh, Second one, I found it that it is clearly not wooing, and mostly in an exam scenario, maybe I'll mark two. But third option, I am unable to find. The psychoanalysts were pioneers in the realm of analysis. Realm is the figment of imagination, the boundary, imaginary boundary of analysis of subconscious mind. So I don't know. So this,
Devidutta, like
yeah,
maybe the first para, last sentence.
yeah. Most ambitious, the therapeutic promise of psychoanalysis came as most novel, most ambitious, most releasing of the long procession of curative systems that mark the history of mental healing. Yeah,
And that might mean that they are the pioneers of analysis of subconscious mind.
no, they are pioneers of. We cannot say it about subconscious mind. I think they are pioneers. Surely they are pioneers of some things. Actually, it's written. Uh, Mental healing. Just through insistent intimate problems of its human relationships. Launched against the tide of academic resistance was its recognition of depth psychology. Actually, this depth psychology is something that psychoanalysts started doing. So much closer to human motivation, so much more intimate and direct than the analysis of mental factors. But still, can we say subconscious mind? I don't know. And it's ills. We're talking about mind and it's ills. But they came to head in the practice. The estrangements offered its relations throughout the domain of these estrangements. These estrangements. Okay. This is something which I'll never do in a exam scenario, but it is talking about these estrangements. These estrangements are talking about the solutions which were on offer already. Like different branches of psychology, etc. These estrangements affected its relations throughout the domain of mind and its ills, but they came to head in the practice. Still can't very clearly say. So most likely, and actual answer is option number 2 according to the key, but I don't know. Option number 3 I cannot very clearly cut out, so I think I'll leave question number 128. We'll look why what happened later on. Create a belief in theory and. Okay, we have 4 options here. Guys, let's come to 129.
C actually created themselves.
Yeah, see.
And any other answers, guys? It is actually mentioned that facts will be created themselves. Easy to go. I think we had 3 easy and 1 very tough questions. It boils down to how you look at the questions and leave this. I should have left this in an. I'll leave this in an exam scenario because the first option I can clearly eliminate and the last one I can clearly eliminate. The popularity enjoyed by psychoanalysis is partly due to disenchantment with traditional methods of psychology. This is a fact given in the passage. Psychoanalysis alienated allied branches of psychology. It alienated means it disowned or like made it ignored allied branches of psychology. This is also mentioned in the passage. But among these two, You will get maybe 10-second window to choose between the two, and I don't know, you can. For me, question option number 3 I cannot clearly eliminate, so I'll leave this question very clearly. So yeah, guys, C is the answer here, and we are done with 2 RCs today. How did you find it? We'll end the session here. Any closing remarks, etc.? Only 3 of you are there: Tejal, Amy, and Shreyas.
It was good, Devidutta.
Yeah, the second RC was good.
Yeah,
RC.
second RC was very complex.
Yeah, it is
First
complex.
And in the mock,
Yeah.
and
Tejal?
in the mock, the last question was different. So it was psychoanalysis are of the opinion that.
Okay. You okay. I think we'll see. 1990 passage. So maybe some. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The question was different. Actually, there were six questions to this RC, and just a second. I don't know how this. There is some difference between the two question sets which I have, 1990 paper 1 and paper 1 in 2 different websites. The question is different. Passage 1, 1990, CAT 1990, passage 1, this. So, Tejal, don't worry, the answer still remains the same. It is asking that psychoanalysts are of the opinion that. The answer will still remain the same. So guys, the purpose of giving RC like this, the second one, is to make you comfortable with uncomfortable RCs. Uncomfortable RCs are part and parcel of CAT. In CAT, at least one of the RC will come. You can take it in writing as well, and I'll bet on how this will come. In the CAT 2023, there will be one RC which will be very difficult. Let's say Amy and Tejal, or let's say you are from non-engineering background, for example. There can be one article which is very very technical, using at least 10 to 15 words of technicalities. Let's say about some laws of thermodynamics. It can be like that. And Shreyas, for you, there can be an article which has a lot of financial terms, discounted cash flows, and you will be very tricked. So the second RC today, I deliberately kept it because we need to be comfortable with RCs like this. And when you have started attempting one RC, after 3 to 4 minutes you realize, no, this is a very tough RC. You can still attempt it and get at least 2 questions out of it. We got 3 questions out of it, and ideally you should have left 128. Anyone should have left 128. Either you leave or mark one of the two. Both the strategies are correct. But in the second one you might lose 1 mark. So according to me, that was the goal of today's RC and exercise, guys. And one humble request is that whatever article I am sending you guys, please read it and try to read it in one setting. So, and if you have any queries, today was session 4. Session 5 and 6 I'll keep for 1-to-1. 1-to-1 will have 20 minutes where you can come up with your queries and any problems or whatever you are facing, and we can take a targeted approach in the broad setting of meeting like this. It is not very particular. One-on-one we'll have, and we'll have it let's say, when do you guys want it? 1-to-1.
I am working, so like I'm available on weekends only, like Saturday, mostly Saturdays.
Okay. And okay, Tejal, Amy.
For me, it would be more convenient in the evening hours.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Any
same
day,
for me as
evening
well.
hours.
Okay. So guys, like session, I think session 3, session 4 is complete. Session 5 and session 6, I'll try to keep that 20 minutes for everyone. So I think we have 6, 7. So we'll try to complete that. I'll be taking, so every one of you is encouraged to come up with their queries and how they think they are performing while reading and all that. Any issues we'll go through. And guys, I cannot stress on this enough. Do everyday reading. Whatever articles I send, do read them. You can come back at me or text me and message me, hey, I think this is. And whenever you are starting to read anything, it can be anything, always keep an opinion. Always, all the time. Whenever you are reading, whatever today's RC, psychoanalysis, have you read? The whole article having read, you keep an opinion about it. Oh no, psychoanalysis is this. No, is it good? Is it bad? Always keep an opinion. These opinions are very important. Tomorrow, when you go sit in one GD, currently companies are coming to my college for the GD of first years. Today, GE Healthcare rejected many. So all I am saying is that have an opinion, and in GDs you will fly. Not only in GDs, in the interviews which you will be giving to clear the entrance exams, entrance whatever, the interviews. It is very important. Read, and have an opinion. Having opinion also helps you when you are trying to solve the RCs. Always form an opinion, then try to align the RC according to your opinion. It gets very much easier, even to remember those. So, guys, that's 4 cents for the day. Any closing remarks or anything before we close the session?
Yeah, session was good. Like yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Shreyas. Yeah, so I think we can close this session. Thank you guys for joining. I'll be uploading the video and will sending you the PDF. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.